Here are the most recent deaths in the national news, plus people's reactions to those deaths, as seen at Legacy.com in the final week of December 2021 and the first week of January 2022. Writer Joan Didion died December 23, 2021, at her home in Manhattan. She died of complications of Parkinson's disease at the age of 87. She was a novelist and journalist whose nonfiction work in the 1960s and 70s was called New Journalism. Didion is being remembered for her book The Year of Magical Thinking, a memoir of her grief in the year after her husband's death. Archbishop Desmond Tutu died December 26, 2021, in Cape Town, South Africa. He died of cancer at the age of 90. He won a Nobel Peace Prize for his work toward ending apartheid in South Africa. Tutu is being remembered for helping bring democracy to everyone in his home country. Attorney Sarah Weddington died December 26, 2021, at her home in Austin, Texas, at the age of 76. She was a young lawyer when she represented Norma McCorvey, better known as Jane Roe, in the landmark Supreme Court case Roe v. Wade. Weddington is being remembered as a teacher and an activist for women's rights. World War II veteran Edward Shames died December 3, 2021, at his home in Virginia Beach, Virginia, at the age of 99. He was the last surviving officer from Easy Company, who were made famous by the book and miniseries Band of Brothers. After serving in the U.S. Army during World War II, he remained in the Army Reserve until his retirement as a colonel in 1973. Shames is being remembered as a hero who fought in the Battle of Normandy and the Battle of the Bulge. U.S. Navy veteran Richard Marcinko died December 25, 2021, at his home in Virginia at the age of 81. He designed and developed the elite Navy unit SEAL Team 6, and he was its first commander. A Vietnam War veteran, he was highly decorated, including a Silver Star, Bronze Star, and Legion of Merit. Marcinko is also being remembered as the best-selling author of Rogue Warrior, as well as a motivational speaker. NFL legend John Madden died December 28, 2021, at his home in Pleasanton, California, at the age of 85. He was one of football's most beloved broadcasters, and he was the voice behind the popular video game series Madden NFL. Madden is also being remembered for his coaching career with the Oakland Raiders, where he had a formidable record and took the team to victory at Super Bowl XI. Senator Harry Reid died December 28, 2021, in Henderson, Nevada. He died of pancreatic cancer at the age of 82. He was a longtime Democratic U.S. Senator from Nevada, as well as Senate Majority Leader from 2007 to 2015. Reid is being remembered for his work toward passing the Affordable Care Act. Actress Betty White died December 31, 2021, of natural causes at the age of 99. She was a TV icon who starred in The Mary Tyler Moore Show, The Golden Girls, and Hot in Cleveland. She is also being remembered for her lifelong advocacy for animal welfare. White served in the American Women's Voluntary Services during World War II, driving a PX truck and entertaining the troops. Singer Tiffini Hale died December 25, 2021, of cardiac arrest at the age of 46. She was a star of the all-new Mickey Mouse Club, which aired on the Disney Channel in the 1980s and 90s. Hale is also being remembered for singing in the Mickey Mouse Club offshoot pop group, The Party. British courtier Diana Maxwell, Lady Farnham, died December 29, 2021, at the age of 90. She was a lady-in-waiting to Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom for more than 30 years. Lady Farnham is being remembered as a close friend and companion to the Queen. Basketball player Sam Jones died December 30, 2021, in Boca Raton, Florida, at the age of 88. He was a shooting guard with the Boston Celtics from 1957 to 1969. Jones is being remembered for winning 10 NBA championships with the Celtics, the second most in NBA history. Actor Max Julien died January 1, 2022, at the age of 88. He starred in The Mack, a classic film of the blaxploitation era. Julien is also being remembered for roles in Thomasine and Bushrod, Uptight, and Def Jam's How to Be a Player. NFL coach Dan Reeves died January 1, 2022, at his home in Atlanta. He died of complications of dementia at the age of 77. He was the head coach for the Denver Broncos, New York Giants, and Atlanta Falcons. Reeves is being remembered for his 4 Super Bowl appearances as head coach, including taking the Falcons to their first Super Bowl. Musician Jay Weaver died January 2, 2022, of complications of COVID-19 at the age of 42. He was the bassist for the Christian contemporary band Big Daddy Weave. Weaver is being remembered as a co-founder of the band, who had hit songs including My Story. Civil rights figure Maxine McNair died January 2, 2022, at the age of 93. Her daughter, Denise McNair, was one of 4 girls killed in a 1963 bombing at the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama. The bombing was a turning point for the civil rights movement. McNair is being remembered as the last surviving parent of the victims of the bombing. Veteran Lawrence Brooks died January 5, 2022, at the age of 112. He was a U.S. Army veteran of World War II. He served in Australia, where his unit built bridges, roads, and airstrips. He was the oldest surviving U.S. veteran of World War II. Brooks is also being remembered for surviving Hurricane Katrina, which destroyed his New Orleans home. Singer Jessie Lee Daniels died in January 2022 at the age of 58. His death was reported on January 4th. He was a founding member of Force MDs, whose R&B song Tender Love was a top 10 hit in 1985. Daniels is being remembered as one of the musicians to influence the development of New Jack Swing. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags across the United States, as well as in Nevada and Massachusetts, have been lowered to honor the memory of former U.S. Senator Harry Reid. Flags in Missouri have been lowered to honor the memory of Boone County Fire Protection District Assistant Chief Bryant Gladney. Flags in Washington have been lowered to honor the memory of Washington State Senator Doug Erickson. Flags in Washington have also been lowered to honor those officers who were wounded and whose lives were cut short as a result of last January's attack on the U.S. Capitol. Flags in Wisconsin have been lowered to honor the memory of firefighter Stephen M. Smith of the Vandenbroek-Kaukauna Fire Department, who lost his life in the line of duty after contracting COVID-19. Flags in Kansas have been lowered in honor of the more than 7,000 lives lost due to COVID-19 in the state and the families they left behind. Flags in Minnesota have been lowered to honor the memory of Itasca County Deputy Sheriff Jamie Williams. Flags in Delaware have been lowered to honor the memory of former State Senator Robert L. Bob Venables Sr. and former State Senator and Representative Winifred Theodora Winnie Spence. Flags in South Carolina have been lowered to honor the memory of State Congressmember Peden Brown McLeod. Flags in Illinois have been lowered to honor the memory of Deputy Sean Riley of the Wayne County Sheriff's Department, firefighter EMT Michonne Plummer of the Chicago Fire Department, and Sergeant Marlene R. Ritmanek of the Bradley Police Department. Flags in Maryland have been lowered to honor the memory of former State Senator Clyde Bernard Fowler and Officer Kiana Hawley of the Baltimore Police Department. Flags in West Virginia have been lowered to honor the memory of former State Senator Sue Klein. Flags in Ohio have been lowered to honor the memory of Cleveland police officer Shane Bartek. Flags in North Carolina have been lowered to honor the memory of State Highway Patrol Trooper John S. Horton. The past 2 weeks also mark several notable anniversaries. 5 years ago last week, singer and songwriter George Michael died of dilated cardiomyopathy at the age of 53. 5 years ago last week, actress Carrie Fisher died of cardiac arrest at the age of 60. 5 years ago last week, actress Debbie Reynolds died of a stroke at the age of 84, one day after the death of her daughter, Carrie Fisher. 15 years ago last week, the godfather of soul, James Brown, died of congestive heart failure at the age of 73. 15 years ago last week, President Gerald Ford died of arteriosclerotic cerebrovascular disease at the age of 93. Actress Mary Tyler Moore was born 85 years ago last week. She died in 2017 of cardiopulmonary arrest at the age of 80. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. You can also follow Legacy.com on Facebook and subscribe to our channel on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths and reactions.